What's up, guys? I'm back. I got another one. If you've been watching my videos, I really do appreciate it. The feeling I get inside when you guys check out my content, man, it makes me feel all giddy and all bubbly inside. Also, if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. I'm trying to get to my first thousand subscribers. Please subscribe to the videos. Please comment and please like. Share this content with your friends. We're trying to inspire hope across the nation with the epidemic that's out here going on. So, yeah, without further ado, today I'm sitting here with
Chewy.
Chewy. Is that a nickname?
Yep, that's my nickname.
How'd you get the nickname Chewy?
Well, when I opened my restaurant, it was actually up for grabs to be able to put it for my LLC. It was under Chewy's Burritos. While I was selling burritos, I was able to open a restaurant because of that. So everybody called me Chewy because my name is Jesus. So my nickname, of course, is Chewy because it's commonly used for that, for Jesus. So yeah.
Chewy is a common nickname of Jesus?
Yes. Yeah.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
That's cool. And you had a restaurant called Chewy's Burritos.
Yes, actually, it was Chewy's Cocina. It was recommended by one of my buddies. He owned the restaurant that I was leasing, and he's like, "Well, instead of putting burritos, why don't you put something that makes it sound more like you just do more than burritos?" So he suggested to use Cocina versus burritos. Even though my LLC was Chewy's Burritos, I was able to just kind of say, "All right, cool. I'll just use Cocina instead."
What does I'm black, obviously.
No,
you
you're
could
good.
tell, but my viewers, I don't know if they know. What does cocina mean?
Cocina means kitchen.
Kitchen, Chewy's kitchen.
Chewy's kitchen, yes.
Okay, that's cool.
Yeah.
So, I mean, did you always have a passion for the kitchen, to be in the kitchen, or how'd you get into the restaurant business?
The way I got into the restaurant business was because I started working at an Italian restaurant when I was about 16 years old. I was working for a place called Rosa's Little Italy. It was really popular at the time. People would go out of their way, miles and sometimes states, just to come and eat at Rosa's. So I was able to get this passion for cooking at a very young age because of that specific reason. And though I was a dishwasher for, I'd say maybe 5 years out of 13 years that I was working there off and on, I was able to learn a lot through the owner who actually passed away due to drinking, and he ended up getting a really bad kidney infection, and it ended up killing him because he would not stop drinking or come to terms with his alcoholism.
So, would you call yourself a chef, or?
I call myself a restaurant entrepreneur. Chef, that's more of like, going to culinary school and all that good shit. Going in and actually learning all the different types of ways of cooking. There's so many different things behind it. I only know I cook it, it tastes good, I sell it to people, and they buy it. That's all I need to know.
I got you. So, tell us a little bit more about yourself. Where are you from?
Originally, I'm from Bisbee, Arizona. Okay. It's about 2 hours south here of Tucson. It's about 10 miles from the Mexican-American border. It's a very popular town in...
It's a mining town, right?
Yeah. So that's where it gained its popularity, was because of the fact that it's historic. There's a lot of history there. There's celebrities that live there as well. We have like Gretchen Bonaducci. She was married to Danny Bonaducci. She was on that show Breaking Bonaducci. We have Doug Stanhope. We also have a lot of like different types of entrepreneurs down there that help keep the town alive through taking the buildings and restoring them and different things, just to keep the town and the tourism alive. It really helps out a lot.
So you were raised in Bisbee?
Yes, I was. Yeah, I was born and raised there. I'm third generation to grow up in Bisbee. My grandfather went to Bisbee in 1895. He came from Nogales, Sonora, Mexico. He heard about the job openings and stuff, so he went and moved to Bisbee to get away from Mexico.
Okay. And what was it like growing up in Bisbee?
It was interesting to say the least. Being so close to the border, I learned a lot of things that children should not be doing. Of course, that's learning how to traffic drugs, jumping the border, to be able to, get like weed and coke across, doing a lot of illegal activities. In fact, I was 13 years old the first time I made $3,000.
13 years old, the first time you made $3,000.
Yes, yeah. It definitely was a very eye-opening experience on how much money can be made in the illegal drug trade.
Right.
Many of my friends have been in prison for it. I've had friends who went to prison for coming up and with these ideas of like making tunnels and
Stuff like that.
Yeah.
So, at what age? So obviously you started getting into risky business at a young age. What age did you start using?
I was about 11 years old when I started smoking weed.
Smoking weed?
Yeah, I had to have been about 5th grade. So it was, I was introduced to that lifestyle at a very young age. I grew up very poor. I grew up very angry with the world.
Why is that? What was your household like?
It was very dysfunctional. Though I love my family very much, we have a very hard time seeing eye to eye on things. In fact, we were constantly fighting. My mom used to have to call the cops on us to settle this down. I went to juvenile numerous times because of my, I just pop off at the mouth with the family, and it would just start a huge family fights and all that. So it was pretty sad.
Were your mom and dad in the house?
It was just my mom.
Just your mom?
Yeah.
Do you know what age your dad left, or he was never around?
He was probably around till I was maybe, I'd say 1.5, 2. He was very violent. He was very abusive. My mom had to get away from him because of how abusive he was to her, and to keep him in our lives, it would have probably made things a lot worse.
I understand that. Besides that, was there any childhood trauma or abuse or anything?
Well, when I was growing up, a lot of it just had to do with the fact that I saw like my mother and how she was with her mother. My mom is a very, I guess you can say, like, she's really selfish. She used to fight with my grandmother a lot on things that she couldn't control. When she couldn't control things, my grandmother got the brunt of it. A lot of arguments. It would get to a point where my aunts would have to throw her out. I was very young seeing all this, mainly due because of my uncle Felix, who, God rest his soul, he had a lot of issues. He was a drug addict and alcoholic as well. And my mom tried to take control of like how he was, and tried to tell my grandmother like, oh, he's a piece of shit, this, that. So I learned at a young age that if I didn't like something, it was okay to yell at my mom. It was okay to fight with her. Why not? Because if she's doing that, I can. If she's doing that with her mom, why can't I do it with her when I disagree with something?
Right, understandably. So, at what age? So progressing later in life, where did you What was your drug of choice?
My drug of choice was cocaine and alcohol.
And when did you pick that up as like a daily habit, or when did you notice it was becoming a problem?
I was probably I'd say about 14 years old. I had started doing coke when I was about 12. It was the first time that I had went to a party, and I did it the first time. I'm like, holy shit. It was as if the minute that it went into my body, it was like I had found it. I had found the thing that made me feel good. It made me feel confident. It made me feel a lot more. It just made me feel better all around. It was one of those highs where it was just everything could keep going. I didn't have to fall asleep. I was always afraid that if I fell asleep, that I was gonna miss something.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
And how long did you have this alcohol and coke addiction for?
Well, I'm off and on for, I would say, I'd probably say about 27 years off and on.
27 years?
Yeah.
How old are you now?
I'm 41.
You're 41?
Yeah.
So take us from 12 on up through your progression of use.
Okay. So the first time I did coke, obviously, was 12. And as I started progressing, I started realizing that I didn't need to go to school. And so I would go partying a lot, and I was partying in between. I'd go to school hungover. I would do coke in school. I would do coke outside of school. I tried crack cocaine the first time when I was 14. I did a lot of other substances, but I always stuck to coke. As I had gotten older, I had gotten into a relationship with my child's mom, my oldest child's mom. Her name is Megan. We had a son together.
At what age?
I was 20, I would say 25. Yeah, 25. I was 25 years old.
Still using and abusing around then?
Yes.
Was your significant other using as well?
Yes, she was. In fact, I made her quit because we were both very codependent on each other.
Right.
I made her quit probably about 3 or 4 days before she actually had my son. We were snorting a lot of coke, and I'm very honest on that aspect of my life, because if I start saying, oh, I never did this nor I never did that, I'd be lying to myself. So yes, I was enabling my son's mom to do coke until about 3 days before the birth. She never dropped dirty for coke, so we never had the state involved. And by the time I was about 27, that's when I decided to have both of us go into rehab, and the plans never went through, because the more that I wanted something, the more that I really became like this giant child when I didn't get things done my way.
Around 27, was that the first time you had been to, or you said 27 was the first time you went to rehab?
Yes.
That was the first time?
Yes, I went through the Salvation Army ARC. I've never been in trouble with drugs, like, legally.
Right.
It was mostly just because, like, I was very, I guess you can say I was just a little more aware of my situations.
Right.
But when I had decided that, rehab was a good idea, I took my ex, and we both went into detoxes. We went into separate areas. Her journey changed because she ended up getting with a BHT.
One of the staff members there?
Yeah,
Okay.
He ended up getting fired because they found out that they were having a relationship, and I was totally devastated. I didn't know what to do.
Did you complete the rehab course?
Yes, yes. So I ended up, though my ex and me had broken up, I did complete the Salvation Army ARC.
How
Though
many days was that treatment?
that was 6 months.
6 months, and you completed it successfully.
Yes, I went through entire rehabilitation.
How long were you sober after that 6 months?
About 6 years.
About 6 years.
Yes, yes. So,
So take us up to where did you relapse in that 6 years?
well,
What brought you to relapse after 6 years?
Well, my daughter's mom and me had, because I have another child with another woman, we had broken up, and I wasn't really that upset. I was just more like, oh, you know what? Now I'm free and I can do whatever I want. And I started talking to different women, and the relapse had started when one woman was like, hey, you drink? And I'm like, I haven't drank in a very long time. Maybe I can drink now like a normal person. I had ended up relapsing, and after 6 years of continued sobriety, and after that relapse, it was kind of like the slippery slope, going back and forth, going to meetings when shit wasn't going my way, feel good, relapse, going to meetings, same thing. It was just a very vicious cycle.
So 6 years, and then you relapsed. How long did you stay, I guess, back out before? How long did you continue to use after that 6 years of sobriety?
It was just kind of off and on for about, I would say, maybe 8 years. It wasn't using 8 years the whole time, but it was kind of like an up and down thing for about 8 years before I actually came here to ARC.
And that's where you're at now?
Yes, yes.
So what made you want to jump back into treatment after 8 years?
Well, after 8 years, it was kind of like I was getting jobs, and I was getting like high paid positions. I would relapse, and then lose that job, get another job. And it was just like kind of like a progression of like every time I got something, I'd get complacent, and then that's when I would go and relapse. So after the biggest thing that actually got me here in the ARC is because I owned a restaurant. I spent 3 years building up a rapport, meeting people, talking with people, networking, and things like that for about 3 years. And after getting the restaurant, I got complacent, and within 8.5 months of me owning it, I had to close my doors because I was so messed up on cocaine and on alcohol. I just didn't want to go to work. I didn't want to deal with people. I isolated.
And you were the business owner.
And I was the business owner, yes.
So within that 8 year span, you opened Chewy's Casino, and because of your addiction, using and abusing, you ended up losing the business.
Yes.
And then you came to treatment. How long have you been here in treatment?
I've been here for, I'd say it's about 55 days, 30 at residential, 25 over here in the IOP program of the ARC. Yes.
So what's different about being in treatment now versus when you were in years ago?
I finally got myself out of self. It was...
Say that again?
I got myself out of self. So it's a term used by like Alcoholics Anonymous that means like once I finally realized that this was all my fault. I spent years blaming everybody. So I came in with an attitude based on that everything that I do, no matter what I try to do with substances or just having things my way or the highway, if it ain't about me, it ain't about shit attitude, it's not working. And this time I finally just let go. I said to myself, um, the AAers are right. It's my selfishness, my self-centeredness, my egotistical ways that got me here in the first place. And the only way I'm going to be able to change that aspect is to change everything that I know about myself and really just dig deep to be able to find where the real issue is. Because alcohol and drugs were the symptom of something that went a lot deeper than what I even could ever understand. And that's why here at the ARC, I look at it as a time to heal rather than to time to, play around and go and try to make all kinds of friends and stuff like that. No, I'm actually here for me. And that's a very important part that I truly hold on to, because the minute I take away that from my program, then I'm just wasted space. I don't believe that I came here for no reason. I truly believe that my higher power willed me to be able to come here and to truly understand who I am, so that way I can get myself reestablished in the AA program.
That's awesome, bro. That's awesome. So we talked about where you came from, where you're at now. Where do you see yourself going?
Well, as long as I give it to my higher power, the sky is the limit. I'm smart. I'm smart. I'm very determined. I know how to set goals, and I have dreams, hopes, and aspirations. And as long as I give it to my higher power, I can be able to live day by day and be able to just stay out of my head and stay in my own lane.
So if a young hottie comes up and wants to drink and maybe do a line with you, what would you say to her today?
Today I would tell her no. I would definitely be a lot more vigilant, versus when I'm stuck in self, that is the first thing that I would go run to. But now with the help of AA, I can make a phone call. I can call my sponsor whenever things seem at their worst. As long as I have somebody that I can call, somebody that I can be able to just say, hey, this is what's going on in my life right now. Most of the time, people in the AA program, they're going to definitely take that time to talk to me, so that way, because not only is it keeping me alive, it's keeping them alive by helping others.
So you're going to implement a 12-step program?
Yes.
Keep the higher power in your life?
Yes.
Operate off your higher power's will and not your own?
Yes, exactly.
That's what's up, bro. That's what's up. It's good to sit down and talk with somebody who's in recovery, just really to inspire hope. You know what I mean? I'm glad to see that, there are people out here getting clean from this addiction, from this epidemic, and who are actually out here trying to get help for themselves. That's awesome. We're just about ready to wrap it up. What advice would you have for anybody who may think about doing a line of coke for that first time, or, wanting to take a drink or something? What advice would you have?
My suggestion to anybody is the power of the disease of addiction is mind-boggling. It's very, very powerful. It does to me where I forget that part of me. So the biggest thing for me as a person would just remember where I came from, and being able to help somebody through that. I would just relay an experience that I went through, and then that way maybe they might be able to get something out of it. But when it comes to drugs and alcohol, cocaine's highly addictive. Alcohol is as well, if it goes into the wrong body that suffers from the allergy of addiction and alcoholism. So just for anybody, just take caution. You know, take caution, take heed. Not everybody, not everybody's bodies are all the same, but why take that chance?
Why take that chance? We're going to end on that. Chewy, man, I appreciate you sitting down with me and sitting down with my viewers and letting us get a look into your world, man. I send blessings your way and prayers your way, and I believe that you're a strong, highly intelligent individual that's going to be able to conquer this disease and stay out the way, you know?
Yes, thank you.
Hopefully we'll get another Chewy's Casino open back up. You got plans of going back into the restaurant business?
Well, for right now, what I'm going to be doing is taking it day by day and just kind of seeing where my higher wills me with, you know, with whatever his plan is. And I know that I would like to get into the recovery field just as a little side quest.
Yeah.
Maybe work at any of these wonderful rehab facilities here in Tucson or even ARC itself. You know, the sky's the limit once you get that RSS. So who knows where I'll end up in July of 2024, but I will keep you updated. I'm sure you're going to be a big part of my life as well. So
yes, sir.
Definitely.
Chewy, man, we appreciate you.
Thank you.
This is the Big Head Dude. This is another one down. I appreciate you guys again for watching. Please subscribe. Please like. Please comment. Please share. And, man, if you have any loved ones out there, you know, dabbling with addiction, man, have them take a look at these videos, you know, so they could maybe get some hope from this, you know, and come to a recovery, come to a, what's this place called, Chewy?
The ARC.
The ARC. Come to the ARC.
Yeah.
And we'll check you guys out later. Thanks for watching.